We are live. We are live. We are live in the YouTube channel. Welcome to a VO's journey. It is Monday. Wow. It's Monday. This channel is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. I've got a really exciting show for you today. I had a bunch of people in my group really quickly at the last moment ask about live direction on Fiverr. So I thought that I would take this opportunity to discuss it, how I use it, how you can go about doing it, and also how you can do it for free. So first off, we're talking about voiceover through Fiverr and using the extra section to add or to increase your revenue by adding an extra that will allow anyone from across the world to direct you in your booth or wherever you are while you're recording. And this is a great way for a couple of reasons. One, it's a great way, like I said, to make some extra money. It's also a great way to cut back on a lot of the problems that run into when someone, sends you a brief amount of information. It's really hard. I do probably like 100 to 150 voiceovers a month just through Fiverr. And it's a lot of, when you get a lot of orders, you just collect a lot more data. And I find that so many people, they either they'll send you a script and they send you no information, or they send you a script and they send you a teeny bit of information. Very rarely do I get, I would say like literally less than 1% do I get like some sort of really, backstory or written out information about how to, approach the specific, job that I'm doing. So with that being said, it's a really great way to eliminate frustrations for both parties, and it's also a great way for the, people who are, Skyping in, or they're showing the video in to see you, to get to know you, to meet you, and also the collaboration is really nice. But anyways, so let's start to boil this down. So first off, the first thing you need to do, okay, is you need to decide whether you're going to go for a paid version or a free version of a sort of a live scenario. I personally want to talk about the free way to do it, so that you don't have to pay for it, and you can simply use Skype. I suggest this. I use it because I use different things though. I use Zoom. I don't like Google Hangouts because it's glitchy at the moment, at least. But Skype is fine. So basically, you can do a couple things. You can literally do it with your phone. I also have an iPad. So what I'll do is I'll take it in my booth. I'll set up the iPad over here, click it so that they can see me and my mic and everything. And then, they don't need to see my computer. They don't need to see my DAW or anything like that. They just need to be able to see me and to hear me. Do you understand? So that's important. There are, of course, other ways. There's ways to patch in if you are working with someone or a studio who wants to actually record you while you're recording. There's things like Source Connect and ISDN, and these things cost money, and some of them are difficult to set up. You don't need to do that starting off. You can simply use, like I said, your phone, and you can Skype in. You can Skype in with your computer. You could Skype in with your computer. I find it's nice to have it, just as personal opinion, it's nice to have it on a separate device, because when you're working, depending on the size of the computer you have and whatnot, it can be difficult, to have a screen with someone over here watching you. Then you got to make sure you're in the camera. Then you got to make sure you can see maybe your DAW or wherever you're doing, okay? I just find it so much easier to use a separate device. And since most of us have smartphones, we should be able to Skype in with somebody. So you want to use Skype. Now, what you do is on your Fiverr gig, you want to set up an extra. So under the extra section, there are the ones that Fiverr has pre-built for you, but then there's also the ones that have a extra little there's like a plus sign on the bottom of it, and you click it, you can add your own extras. So I literally add live direction, okay? And under that, when you pop that up, it'll give you like a title, description, and then how much you charge. Now it's up to you how much you want to charge for it. Do you know what I mean? But you make sure you put a title like live direction, and then a little description, Skype in to direct me live. You know what I mean? And then you can put how much price and then how many extra days. You got to remember, though, you've got to be able to communicate with them. And so that's important to take in consideration, too, when you're doing this. OK, so but anyways, you go ahead and you set that up. All right. And as you put that through on your gig, now if someone orders live direction, okay, you'll see that pop up on there and they'll probably send you a message. Or if they purchase it and they don't send you a message, you need to send them a message to set that up. All right. Now, this is how you set that up. Okay. A lot of times you can, in your requirements section, and this is what I recommend you do, in your requirements section, you can add, if you have purchased live direction, okay, please, supply a way to contact you. Okay. Or you could say, message me and we'll discuss how to make this work. If you want to leave like contact information out, like on the requirements section, it's different, right? Because a lot of people offer videos on Fiverr and a lot of people offer live back and forth on Fiverr. What Fiverr doesn't want you doing is through the messaging system. But see, on the requirements section, it's different because since somebody's already purchased from you, Fiverr's like, they've purchased, they're all good. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a lot better to get that information on the requirements and not try to get it through the messaging system. Okay. If you do have an issue with the messaging part, like someone doesn't get you the requirements, and you got that mixed up and you're having an issue there, I think that what you would do is you would move on to the second option, which I use, and that's like a PDF. So basically, or a file. So basically what happens is if someone, does this and they patch in or they order this and they're like, hey, how do we contact each other? I will usually put my Skype ID. All right. Thank you. And on a PDF, on a Word document or something, and then transfer it to a PDF and send the file attached. Okay. So that they can get it. A lot of other things happen too. Like, and this happens a lot. And I'll tell you why, because for example, I do a lot of video work. I've started doing video work where I send videos to people, and those videos just don't do well download. Even though Fiverr says they will download up to a gig, I find that after about 400 or 500 megabytes, it starts to get real glitchy. So I usually will download, videos somewhere else. And then, I'll have a link and I'll send that through a PDF. You just don't want to send it through the messaging system. Do you understand? That makes sense. You want to send it somewhere else because it'll raise a bunch of flags that Fiverr has put in place to protect like us, all right, from scammers, and also to protect them from people trying to just, scout people off of the platform. All right. So that's a definite way that you can go ahead and, make it possible for you to do a live session, get the, contact information you need and make it happen. When you are doing the live session, it's interesting because, you have to make sure that a couple things. One, this is what I think. I definitely have been in theater my whole life. So being in front of people is not a problem for me. But let's be honest, we live behind a microphone. So it's awkward to have someone right here staring at your face while you're trying to record. So, you need to be just aware of that. And if you don't think you can do that, then I wouldn't do it. Or, you could just say, it's a phone call. I don't do camera options. Do you know what I'm saying? Or you could point the camera towards your computer so they can see the actual DAW and it working that way. But I just think you got to be ready for that because they're going to be staring at you. All right. Then they're going to be critiquing. Also, you need to understand, too, that even though they're directing you, a lot of times they won't be a director. So, you need to make sure you bring your expertise to the process, too. Don't be afraid. Now, don't argue with them, but don't be afraid to say, hey, this sounds pretty good. This might be changed. I was doing a session the other day and they were asking me if I could change, what did I think about, because they were from a different country and they're like, what do I think about in English, the way to make it a little bit more intense or passionate. And I was like, it's actually fine. Don't add anything else. like, what if you add this conjunction here? And I'm like, no, that's not proper grammar. It won't sound right. Do you know what I mean? So like, there's certain things that you can do, to make sure that you come across as a professional. But at the same time, this idea, this whole thing is about you being able to meet them like face to face and them listen to you. This is different than like Source Connect or ISDN. This is different than like patching in. So even though sometimes I accidentally use those words kind of interchangeably, but I'm talking about literally just having someone Skype into you and watch you as you record and listen over Skype and be able to give you direction on the style, if they like it, if they don't, what their thoughts are. All right. And again, it eliminates the problem with, a couple of things. Like I said, it eliminates the issue of this going back and forth. It's oftentimes, if you've done a lot of work, that you do the first take with limited information, then they come back and they have all of these notes. And you're like, why didn't you give them to me in the first place? Why did you wait until after I did it? Probably because A, they didn't know what they were doing. Two, you know what I mean? They would probably, since they listen to you and they're like, oh, then they have the ideas and then they have your material to go off of. Do you see what I mean? So we have to make sure in that sense, though, you have everything set up properly for your revisions. That's super important. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. That is kind of the presentation today. If you have any questions about that, please go ahead and put them over in the chat. I'd love to answer them for you. But it is a viable way to make extra money. And by the way, I always say this, and I'm going to say this to you guys. Remember, Fiverr does a great job of marketing. We have to sell. So part of these extras are you selling them. I oftentimes use revisions as excellent times to drop for a future meeting with someone. If they ask for a revision, I'll say, absolutely, this is fine. This is how much it costs. But just so you know, I also offer live directions. So maybe the next time we work together, you can just, you can Skype in with me and you can give me live direction, sell it to them so that the next time they come in, they might purchase it from you. I do that. And literally, like I said, the last one I did was a client where we went back and forth a bunch just because, typing sometimes it's hard to get across, what you want. And they ordered the extra. So that was really nice. So that's a great way to try to sell that. All right, so let's look over here at the comments. Voices by Storm, what's up? All right, let's see. Oh, goodness. I'm going to butcher your name. Is that Ayato? I'm so sorry if that's wrong. But welcome. Let's see. And then we have Steve Sada says, I have to thank Earl. When he makes a vid, he helped me a lot. I like Earl too. Yeah. I thought all people who asked me to talk off Fiverr were spam because I got many requests from Upwork account. So I think what you're talking about is kind of a different situation. So if someone contacts you on Fiverr and they say, hey, this I've got a lot of work for you. I just need you. Let's talk over the phone. Here's my information. Or, I've got steady work for you over the next, year or so. Every month I'm going to be sending you work. Let's just talk on Google Hangouts or something, right? That's all baloney. I mean, that's just people and I have a funny story for you. So I actually decided that I was going to try just for giggles, right? To see what it would be like if I contacted one of these people. Okay. So I did. And as I contacted them, it was on Google Hangouts. I contacted them and literally they came on and they asked me to introduce myself. First weird thing. Now, I didn't give them my last name. I just said, Anthony, I'm a voiceover artist. And then they said, the first things they said, just so we understand, this is not about voiceover. This is about a business opportunity. That's what they said. I was like, no, thank you. Click. All right. So I just wanted to see what it is. So probably a lot of these people, what they're doing is they're fishing for information. They're going to try to sell you on some proposition, get your information from you, and move on. Okay. But I wanted to see because, so many of us get all these messages. I wonder what would actually happen if you talk to someone. And that's what would happen. I saw the guy too. It wasn't like he was hiding himself. So, anyways, but you don't need. That's what I'm talking about now. For the coaching session, remember they've purchased it already. So Fiverr holds that money in escrow. So that means they've already purchased it. So you don't have to worry about them trying to scam you because they got you. They already put the money in there. All right. So it's kind of one of those situations where, if they buy, 99.99% of the time it's not a scam. Second, if they are messaging you and asking you about live direction in your gig, right? Go by the context, because that makes more sense, because you say, yes, absolutely. You can purchase the extra here. I'll send you an offer, include an offer. And if they buy from you, they're on the up and up. Okay. A lot of times too, you have to look at the context of what they're saying. You can smell it out. It's not hard. Very rarely, I mean, like next to none, do any of these scammers actually give context behind. What would be scary is if some of them actually started giving more context, because then it would be hard to decipher, right? If they were saying things. But the key is, if they're asking you to contact them off of Fiverr or any of these other platforms, Freelancer, Upwork, and they have not purchased from you, then that's not okay, right? Money talks. All right. So let's see. Steve, what's up? I actually would prefer it if a client would do this. Yeah, I know, right? It helps so much if when they Skype in. Thank you, Anthony. I'd love to have the clients do this. Yeah. Thanks, Steve. I will try to remember. Not everybody wants my account. All right. I can't use anything. No cell phones work here. Well, sorry, man. Hey, Anthony. Sabah, how you doing? Hey, Anthony, I'm here. My brain is a sponge. Steve, had a spammer give his Skype ID. I said I can't do that. I tried to drove off a real client. So that is the challenge. Sometimes, and let's be honest about the situation, right? There are a lot of new people coming to Fiverr who are more experienced now with working with voiceover artists, and they're not used to the terms of service of Fiverr. So again, you've got to try to do your best to read behind the lines, or in between the lines of the context of what's happening. So if the person, if they're giving you context, meaning they're talking to you about things that actually make sense for a voiceover, they're referencing what they need you to do. They are, talking about, time frames and purchase. Like, you can tell by the way they're typing those things to you, what they're actually including. Most of the people who are spamming, they don't even really mention voiceover. And if they do, it's very little. I mean, they don't mention anything else, just by giving you information to contact you, or I've got work for you. I mean, and I guess in all fairness, they say I've got work for you. They don't ever say I have voiceover work for you. But I just think it'd be careful about that kind of stuff. But if you have someone legit, you've got to let them know too. Oh, by the way, if you have a hard time deciphering, here's a tip. If you have a hard time deciphering about what to do, like if you're unaware or you're confused, here's what you should do. You should literally say to them in the message, I'd love to work with you, but I work through Fiverr. So please go ahead and we can order through here. It's a great platform. You know what I mean? I can send you an offer. That is a great way to hedge your bet completely, right? Because you're not going to get in trouble for responding to them. And on the contrary, if you forget to respond to them, Fiverr will ding you if you don't put it under spam or block them. Okay? They'll ding you after an hour. So that's a great way to respond to them. You could actually even create one of the lightning responses that Fiverr allows you to do, so that if you ever have that situation, you hit your little lightning button, hit respond on the one you've created, hit send, and you're done. Move on. And if they really are people who want to work with you, they'll accept it and they'll start working through Fiverr. If they're not, they won't bother you. And if they do bother you again, do you know what I mean? Then you can go back and hit the spam button, et cetera, et cetera. But a lot of times, if you say that you only work through Fiverr, they leave you alone. Because I've done that a couple of times. They don't mess with you because, they understand you're not a person that's going to be confused. That's good. They're going to trick. Does that make sense? So that's a great way to hedge your bets all the way around. Okay. I did qualify and asked if they were interested in placing an order. They said no. I said goodbye. No, it's fine. All right, Capital High just wanted to watch a guy build IKEA furniture for a full 2 hours, and this video was recommended. Dude, I don't know. That's crazy that it got recommended after IKEA furniture for 2 hours. I don't know which one is worse. Although I love IKEA. If you've never been to an IKEA, it's pretty incredible. But anyways, well, sorry, Capital. That's a good story, though. Sabah, I watched your mastermind post. I absolutely love the idea of keeping constant login on Fiverr. Not one there yet, but soon. Nice. I know you're busy, but I wanted to ask, can you give a free code to my audiobook when I done? Oh my goodness, I don't even know you, and you're asking for stuff. Wow, you got to take me out to dinner first or something. Really. All right, Sabah, I like that Fiverr tip. I heard if you write Fiverr, they will fix your response time. Never tried it though. So if you actually have an issue that wasn't your fault, because sometimes if it was a spammer and it was, documented and they went back and blocked it afterwards, but it was like an hour and a half that you didn't respond, you can go back and get that taken care of for you. A lot of times though, it's a running average. So, it will kind of go off, as it goes along. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't stay on your account forever. It will eventually go off. The problem is that if you're not having a high volume of messages and responses and work, that's where it gets troubling. That's where it gets tough because you can't average out effectively. So that's why when you're just starting, like one bad review or one, missed message can really just kind of destroy your business for a period of time. So starting out is definitely the hardest. Just like anything else in life, when you start out, you got to work the hardest. And when you get to kind of where I am, I work, but I coast now pretty much because Fiverr really promotes me heavily. So, but when I first started, it was not like that. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the questions and the comments. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Please like, share, follow. Don't share it with the poor guy who is watching IKEA build sessions. I feel bad for him. But anyways, you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you later. Bye.